Hello there, welcome to our channel. Today we will show you a collection of paper-maches. So, watch the video until the end to see these beautiful ideas and get inspiration. We post furniture, decor, and craft ideas videos on daily basis. Papier-mâché is a versatile, accessible craft medium that has been used for centuries across cultures, from delicate masks and ceremonial figures to sturdy furniture and large-scale theatrical props. At its simplest, papier-mâché involves combining paper with an adhesive to form a malleable pulp or layered surface that dries hard. The appeal of this material lies in its simplicity and adaptability. Newspaper, scrap paper, or even recycled office paper can be transformed into three-dimensional forms with nothing more complicated than glue, flour paste, or wallpaper paste. Because the basic materials are inexpensive and widely available, papier-mâché invites experimentation and is often the first sculptural medium introduced to children and beginners, yet it also offers virtually unlimited complexity for experienced artists. The basic techniques fall into two broad categories: pulp construction and strip, or layered, construction. Pulp construction starts by soaking paper until it breaks down into a mushy fiber mass that can be blended or mashed into a smooth paste. The choice of adhesive defines the character of the finished work. Traditional recipes include a simple mix of wheat flour and water, sometimes with a small addition of white vinegar to deter mold. This mixture is affordable and non-toxic, making it popular in classrooms. White PVA glue or wood glue produces a stronger bond and is less prone to deterioration than raw flour paste. Wallpaper paste, available in powdered form and mixed with water, offers a middle ground. It adheres well, resists sagging, and is easy to work with. For outdoor pieces or installations that must withstand humidity, epoxy resins or exterior-grade adhesives and sealants may be incorporated, but these require careful ventilation and safety precautions. Armature building is another fundamental skill for making successful papier-mâché forms. Choosing an armature depends on the desired scale and permanence. Temporary armatures like balloons, sand-filled bags, or crumpled newspaper wrapped in masking tape create forms that can be removed once the papier-mâché shell hardens. For more permanent pieces or those that must bear weight, stronger internal frameworks of chicken wire, hardware cloth, wooden dowels, or metal rods are used. The armature's geometry should support the outer layers without creating sharp points that will poke through. It is common practice to cover any protruding wire ends with tape or extra layers of paper to prevent tears and improve the surface finish. Surface finishing and refinement distinguish amateur projects from professional work. Once the base layers are dry and structurally sound, the surface can be smoothed using successive layers of thin papier-mâché or paper pulp. Sanding between coats, using progressively finer grit, can yield a surprisingly smooth, paint-ready surface. Many artists apply a sealant, gesso, plaster, or acrylic medium, to fill small imperfections and provide an even ground for paint. Gesso creates a toothy surface for acrylic or oil paints, plaster can add weight and a stone-like finish, and clear acrylic mediums preserve paper texture while sealing it against moisture. For very fine details, artists sometimes attach small elements sculpted in polymer clay or air-dry clay to the papier-mâché base, integrating mixed media to achieve textures that paper alone cannot provide. Decoration is where papier-mâché truly shines because of the sheer variety of possible finishes. Paints, collage, gilding, mosaic, and decoupage can all be applied. Acrylic paint is a favored choice because it adheres well, dries quickly, and remains flexible enough to resist cracking on slightly flexible surfaces. Watercolors are less common because they can reactivate with moisture, but when sealed properly they can create translucent, layered effects. Metallic leaf or metallic paints add opulence. Gold or silver leaf adhered with an appropriate sizing can transform a humble mask into an ornate ceremonial object. Collage techniques using patterned papers, tissue, or fabric can create rich, layered visual textures. For theatrical or carnival uses, lightweight papier-mâché forms can be covered with sequins, feathers, or fabric to achieve dramatic effects without making the piece unwieldy. Safety and longevity considerations are important. Plain flour paste is vulnerable to mold in humid conditions, so projects made with it are best kept dry or sealed thoroughly. For long-lasting outdoor works, internal supports should be of corrosion-resistant materials and surfaces treated with waterproof coatings like marine varnish or epoxy. When sanding dried papier-mâché, dust masks are recommended because the fine paper dust can irritate the respiratory tract. Historically, papier-mâché has a rich and varied story. Its use can be traced back to ancient China and Egypt, where laminated paper and pasted reeds were employed in funerary masks and coffins. During the Victorian era, papier-mâché enjoyed a renaissance in Europe, where it was molded and pressed into furniture items like trays, boxes, and even ornate fauteuils, often finished with lacquer and gilt. In other cultures, notably in Mexico, papier-mâché, known as cartoneria, developed into a distinctive folk art used for making alabrages, Judas figures, and large festival sculptures for Day of the Dead and other celebrations. These regional traditions demonstrate how a simple material can evolve into a lexicon of cultural expression, tied to rituals, festivals, and community identity. Contemporary artists continue to push papier-mâché beyond its traditional uses. Some create monumental public sculptures that use thousands of layers and incorporate internal steel armatures. Others combine paper pulp with modern additives like cellulose fibers, acrylic emulsions, or powdered pigments to produce archival quality surfaces. The medium's responsiveness to color, texture, and form makes it attractive for artists exploring themes of ephemerality, waste, and transformation. Recycled paper becomes a metaphor as well as a material, allowing creators to comment on consumption, memory, and reuse. Installations that incorporate sound, light, or interactive elements expand papier-mâché into multimedia territory, while performance artists sometimes use its lightweight properties to make wearable sculptures and masks. In short, papier-mâché is an adaptable, historically rich, and creatively liberating medium. From humble classroom projects to monumental public art, it offers a tactile, inexpensive path into three-dimensional making. Mastery involves understanding adhesives and armatures, developing finishing techniques, and learning to balance lightness with strength. Its cultural resonance and environmental potential add layers of meaning for contemporary makers, making papier-mâché a craft that remains relevant and ripe for reinvention. Whether the aim is playful experimentation or the production of enduring artworks, papier-mâché rewards patience, inventiveness, and a willingness to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. We hope you've enjoyed our today's content. If you do, please consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already, and also smash that notification bell so that you will be the first one to be notified when we upload new videos. And finally, thank you for watching until the end. We look forward to seeing you in our next video. Until then, stay safe and stay blessed.